Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Sharath.
Good morning, Sridhar. Sandeep, your first presentation, huh? Or
Yeah,
rather, first webinar.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. For the guys who have already been a part of our webinars before, please, thank you, Atul. Even though you're doing a morning walk, you're having a video shared. So, folks, like always, it is a call that it's not some corporate presentation and things. Please have your videos turned on. KK Sridhar, Nirupama, thank you very much. Things that we are having disturbances from. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to be doing in today's call is going to be slightly different. Okay, GHL as a company, what they've been doing for all the money that they have raised so far, they've had a question and answer kind of a format. So unlike our usual webinar format where we go about explaining what the company does and so on and so forth in terms of the product, we are going to be doing a quick introduction. And with that introduction, what's going to end up happening is there will be question and answers being filled in. Because I've been through this presentation a couple of times already since I put my money in again, what I'm going to be doing is I will be asking questions, which I believe is important because this asset class is very, very different when compared to what we've been doing so far. So as in when I see pointers that are coming, statements that are coming, which I would assume my audience is not aware of, I will nudge in and start bringing Q&A. For those of you all who have clarifications on this call, please put it on the chat box. Let's not break the sequence of the webinar, so that we are in a position to hopefully complete it by 90 minutes as what we aim to do all the time, right? So with that said, I have the GHL team here. We have Rajkumar, we have Karthikeyan, and we have Tina. By the way, Karthikeyan, you shared the name with two of my investors already on this. I think one of them is on this call, and then one of them will probably listen to the recording. So Karthikeyan, just the surname is different. So Karthikeyan is one of the directors in the company, and Rajkumar is one of the co-founders. Rajkumar was not supposed to be a part of this call, but upon my insisting with Karthikeyan, he's taken time out of his busy schedule to get this thing done, because generally he's not a part of these calls. And I thought, as customary to what we've been doing so far, it would make better sense to have the founders also being a part of the call and answer questions, which probably could be a little more, if there is any question that probably Karthikeyan may not be in a position to answer, he can step in or probably give us a different, a different perspective around it. So with that said, Karthik, without further ado, I'll give the platform over to you, and let's begin. I've given you share access as well. So if you like to share your presentation, please go ahead and do that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for your introduction, Sharath. Thank you. Despite Mr. Sharath's introduction, let me introduce myself. I'm Karthikeyan, one of the directors of GHL India. I look after the business research and development of business product, and then the business operation of GHL India, as well as the marketing and sales team. Now let us see about GHL India. Let us talk about what is GHL India, and then what investment product that we have, what kind of securities that we offer to our investors. Let me share the screen. Before, let me talk about the GHL India's product. Let me introduce our co-founders here. Mr. Sendil Kumar, he is one of the co-founders. By profession, he is a civil advocate. And here another co-founder, Mr. Rajkumar. By profession, he is a company secretary. And this is mine, Karthikeyan. The experience that he has, Mr. Sendil Kumar. Listen, he has more than 25 years of experience as a civil advocate in the High Court of Chennai, and he has successfully handled more than 11,500 pre-litigation property cases. Okay. Above all, he has a robust private mediation team. It is called as private tribunal that has qualified arbitrators that helps many people to settle their disputes without the need of court intervention by invoking the arbitration clause under the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996. We restructure the asset through this one method. By invoking the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996, we restructure the distressed assets that we focus on. Okay. And about Mr. Rajkumar, why
Karthik,
Yeah,
sorry,
please.
I don't mean to interrupt. If you can
Yeah,
go to the
please.
previous slide for me, please.
Uh.
You mentioned that one of the strengths that Sendil has got is the fact that he's got a private mediation team. I'd like
Yes,
you to know that the
yes.
bulk of my audience are either
Okay.
self-employed or employed in the IT sector. So whenever you talk law, doctor, these are things that you'd like to step aside from. I'd like to know, for layman term, what does private tribunal mean, and what is the importance of it?
What is the importance of it?
Yes.
Not all the cases can be
Mhm.
sorted out by filing the cases in the court. Okay, we
Okay.
don't need
Okay.
judges participation.
Right.
So instead of resorting to court, we can resort to private tribunal. The private tribunal also consists of many judges, many
Mhm.
advocates. Okay,
Mhm.
so the disputes can be sorted out within 2 or 2.5 months. If the
Understood.
same disputes go into court, then it will take 3 years or 5 years time to. But within 3 months, many disputes can be sorted out through this
Got
private
it.
tribunal.
Got it.
That is the
Okay.
importance. Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Sharath, sorry for interruption. Just to add some more point to this.
Uh-huh.
Actually, what Mr. Karthikeyan is supposed to convey is that arbitration conciliation is just nothing but a alternate dispute resolution. Okay, so before every agreement will have a class of arbitration conciliation. Before going to court, it can be settled out of court, actually, kind of a thing.
Got it. Got it.
So every property which is coming out for acquisition, before going to court, it has to go through this tribunal kind of arbitration kind of thing. So we will be making the things possible that place itself.
So basically what you're saying is the reason why we're going to court, or these cases are happening, because these are distressed properties, either from a legal standpoint or either from a financial standpoint.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, we can continue. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I was talking about the experience of Mr. Rajkumar, sir. So he has more than 15 years of experience as a company secretary, and as a business analyzer, he has more than 8 years experience in the real estate sector. And as a product developer, he has 3 years experience in the MSME sector. Last but not least, he has a vast network of CSCA and CFA connection across India. Okay. And this is my experience. I have more than 5 years of experience as a business development manager in the hotel industry, and 5 years of experience as a BDM in the real estate industry as well, and 3 years of experience as marketing and sales in the finance industry. And I have a vast network of real estate business agents, both seller and buyer agents, across Tamil Nadu and Puducherry.
Okay.
So now let's start about GHL India. Who is GHL India? It's an investment and asset management company. Okay. These days, we can call our platform as alternate investment platform too. Everybody is aware of what is meant by alternate investment platform. So does GHL India need SEBI or RBI approval to do this business activity? Listen, since we do our business in compliance with the Companies Act 2013 of MCA, we neither need SEBI approval nor RBI approval. Okay. And our head office is located at Chennai. We have 3 offices now. 2 are located at Chennai and 1 is located at Delhi. For Delhi, it's a North Zone office. This is the current asset under management of us. We are managing more than 35 crore rupees assets. We have more than 1,000.
This is in what time span, Karthik? 35 CR?
2.5 years, sir. 2.5 years.
So this 2.5 years,
Yes.
the asset that you're currently managing is only in the asset reconstruction distressed asset business. That's not the other vertical.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Not other verticals. Only in the distressed vertical. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Sure.
And as of now, we have more than 1,000 plus investors.
My name is Nixon.
Is somebody's interrupting?
We have
Fine. So as of now, we have more than 1,000 plus investors from more than 20 states and 3 different countries. Okay. So now let us talk about the business product of GHL India.
Right.
Property trading or flipping. We can also call that as property flipping. What we do here is we acquire the most demandable distressed properties at undervalued price. We develop it and sell it at the fair market value for realizing substantial profit within a short period. This is our business product.
Right.
It is my responsibility to talk about the distressed property. What is meant by distressed property? A property that faces either financial difficulty, legal difficulty, or both can be called as distressed properties. Okay. So, okay, in two ways we do acquire undervalued properties, that is distressed properties. One is by participating in bank auction. In bank auction, we will acquire Bank REO properties. What is meant by Bank REO properties is, if the property is not auctioned, is not sold in the first auction, then it will be considered as Bank REO properties. When it is auctioned in the second time, we can get the property at the utmost discounted price. Okay.
This is because banks are more keen on getting rid of the property that they've got the debt on, as compared to having to have the property, because they are in the business of getting EMIs and not necessarily holding the properties.
Yes.
All right.
They have to sell it. Yeah.
Sure.
And another way is, as I already said, we have more than 1,600 real estate seller and buyer agent across Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. With the help of them, we will frequently get the most demandable distressed property at the prime location. So in these two ways, we get the distressed properties.
Understood.
Now let me cover the property trading business strategy. How this strategy is executed properly.
Right.
This strategy is executed in three phases. First phase is, we will identify a distressed seller through our real estate seller agent who wants to encash the property that is situated at the prime location for exigency. Here, I mean property as land, either residential land or commercial land. Okay. And the second thing, what we do is, we do the investigation of the property documents for the past 30 years to find out the authenticity and encumbrances. If there are encumbrances, then the steps to resolve those encumbrances will be derived. After that, a valuation certificate of the property will be obtained from the government accredited valuer. And finally, the purchasing property of the property will be cut down to a minimum of 30% from the fair market value, to a minimum of 30%. Based upon the the emergency situation of the seller, we negotiate the price, but minimum we will cut up to 30%. It is for sure. So in each and every deal, we make minimum 30% profit. And finally, an MOU and sale agreement will be executed with the seller by paying certain token advance. This is the first phase of our business strategy, property trading business strategy. Now let us cover the second phase. So what we do in the second phase is, we will identify a potential buyer through our real estate buyer agents who is eager to purchase property at the prime location.
Right.
The valuation certificate that we have already gotten will be shared with the buyer. An MOU and purchase agreement will be executed with the buyer by receiving an earnest money deposit of minimum 30% from the fair market value of the property. Okay. So once these two phases are completed successfully, we will enter into the third phase. What we do in the third phase is, we will list the property in our platform for funding from the investors by issuing the secured non-convertible debentures of our special purpose vehicle.
Okay, just for the benefit of everyone on this call and who's going to be listening to this call in the future, Karthik, can you tell us what is secured? The audience knows NCDs, right? But what is secured NCD? I'd like to, we'd like to build on that.
Yes. A non-convertible debenture which is backed by asset is called a secured NCD. In case of default by the company, that particular asset can be liquidated to settle the capital of the investors.
Very nice. So what specific security, because some of these startups go also, having their furniture, having their laptops as securities. Now, I'd like to know, what is it that you'll offer as a security over here?
Okay, I understand. The property that we are going to purchase will be used as security for the investors. Once it is bought in the GHL India company's name, what we do was, we will register the property in the GHL India's particular SPV's name, and then on behalf of investors, we will appoint a debenture trustee. Okay. In the debenture trustee's name, the property will be mortgaged.
Understood. And this this debenture trustee are these SEBI SEBI approved?
No. The
Okay.
debenture trustee is not SEBI registered trustee.
So what
It's a trust.
gives the debenture holders the confidence that the debenture trustee is going to indeed act upon the interest of the debenture holders and not necessarily in the company's name or whoever it is else for that matter? Okay, so where I was getting at was what is in the interest of the trustee to indeed do their job when possibly obviously there is a legal framework and things of that sort, but I'd like to, again, for the benefit of our audience, I'd like to get into the specifics of that.
Listen, it is their job, the trustee job, and they are making money out of becoming a trustee. So they do their job very efficiently in a cost-effective manner.
Yeah, Sharath, to
As
add
a
some more point. Excuse me, sir. To add some more point, actually, as such, there is no difference between a SEBI registered trustee or
Correct.
non SEBI registered trustee. As such, both are same. But the thing is that if it is a listed entity, then the role of a SEBI registered trustee would be more particular on this actually.
Prominent.
Because we have to report to the SEBI as well as to the investor. Okay, in case of an unlisted company, the requirement of a SEBI registered trustee is not as such required actually, because they are not going to any more information to the SEBI actually. Here, their part is to safeguard the asset on behalf of the investor actually.
Right.
Okay, the asset should suffice to the value of the fund we raised. And in case of any means turbulence, which the negative things which is happening, we are unable to pay the principal or the things, then they have to take over the asset, they have to liquidate, and they have to settle it to the investor.
Fair enough.
The
Okay.
main part
So what you're saying is, as soon as this phase is entered where you're listing this asset on the platform, as soon as the investor makes this, the agreement is done in their name saying that, okay, the listed property or the property that is in question is already going to be offered as a collateral.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's continue. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So we have covered the first point of the phase 3. We will list the property in our platform. And second one is the property will be purchased in the particular SPV's name once the required fund is mobilized. And third step is we appoint a debenture trustee to protect the capital of the investor. And fourth step is purchased property will be mortgaged in the name of the debenture trustee. And finally, charge will be executed by registering the mortgage deed with the MCA. So once the charge is executed with the MCA, then without the consent of both the debenture trustee and MCA, the particular property cannot be liquidated by the company. Okay. If we want to liquidate that property, then either the capital of the investor should be settled or a property which is equally worth to it will be replaced. Okay. So in this way, the investor's capital is secured.
Great. So 2 questions, and I'm sorry we're breaking the frame, but it's important, Karthik. When you say charge, what do we specifically mean by a charge? What is charge in this statement here?
Yeah,
charge.
Karthikeyan, can I?
Yes. You please continue, sir. Rajkumar, sir.
See, charge is nothing but equivalent to registering your mortgage actually.
Okay.
Okay, it is an alternate form of doing your registration. Instead of register office, you are making it with MCA. Both are the same kind only.
Okay, fair.
Have you got, sir?
Yeah. So this is one piece. The second thing that I'm looking at is now when you're saying the property will be, you've got this agreement here where if for some reason GHL India wants to go about selling this property, then a property worth of the same collateral or same value should be replaced. Now, is this as a part of the agreement that the investor gets in?
See, actually, it will not be as a part of the agreement what investor get, but it is a part of the agreement what we executed with the debenture trustee. It's already executed in the debenture trustee deed, actually.
Got it.
Is there?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes. Let's progress.
Okay.
Thank you.
It is a deal between the debenture trustee and the company, not with the investor.
Got it. Yeah. Let's proceed. Thank you.
Okay. So that's all about our business strategy of property trading. Now, let's see this one. What is the yearly profit target in the property trading business of GHL India? Listen, we are making totally 60%, minimum 60% profit in a year. We have this plan always, we have to complete minimum 2 deals like this. In each and every deal, we will make 30%, minimum 30%. So we are making 60% profit per annum, and we are distributing 24% profit to our investors as interest of the debenture.
Right.
Okay. Why SPV structure is used to do the business operation of GHL India? Listen, I guess everybody knows about this word SPV. What does mean by SPV? A special purpose vehicle is nothing but a separate legal entity which will look after the specific business activity of an organization. We use SPV to protect the capital of the investor by means of paying absolute attention toward one business deal at a time by delegating relevant tasks to a team of experts. That's why we use SPV structure. Okay. And the next one is, before we start any business, we will analyze both micro and macro analysis through pistol analysis method. Okay. So micro analysis helps us to discover the need of the people. In line, listen, now we should create any business product in line with the need of the business, in line with the need of the people. Only then we can sell it. Okay.
Sure.
And second, macro, by analyzing macro economy, we will get to know more about the particular country's business laws and regulations. In line with it, we can prepare ourselves. These two analyses can be done through one common analysis, pestle analysis: political, economical, social, technological, legal, and environmental analysis. So after doing this particular analysis, we will choose a business product, and then we will start to venture in it.
Right.
This is another business strategy.
So
And,
one sec. If you can scroll back to the previous slide number 15. So no. 15. 15. Next one.
Sorry. Yes, here it is.
Let's stop here. So basically, what you are telling is, once you are evaluating a particular, this is what you're saying is for the different verticals of the businesses that you all have gotten.
Yes.
This also includes the similar kind of research that you all are doing in the property flipping or distressed asset flipping business.
Yes. You're right.
Fair enough.
You're right.
Let's progress.
So, and finally, I'm really obliged to share this information as well. What analysis should a professional investor do if he wants to invest in any company? Let me put it in this way. PSSTFCP analysis must be done by an investor. P stands for product. Does the company have demandable product? This question should be asked. Then strategy. Does the company have a viable business strategy? And third one, system. Does the company have a flawless system to execute its business strategy? And team. Does the company team members have the capability and commitment to operate its business system? And fundraising round. At which fundraising round the company is currently into? And finally, the capital safety. Has the company taken any measure to protect the capital of its investors? Profit sharing. Does the company share considerable profit with its investors? So this one particular analysis should be done by the investor before he or she invests in any company. If one investor, after doing the above analysis, then he or she does not have to get panic about their invested capital.
So let us in order to build from what you all have just shared with us, Karthik. What about your fundraising? At what stage are you all at the moment?
We are in the Series A round.
Okay. And
it indicates.
Are you in a position to go about sharing with whom you all have not raised the Series A round just as yet? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we are raising. We are into the Series A round.
Okay. And you all are aiming to raise how much money?
How much money? Within this year end, we are planning to raise around 150 crore rupees.
Okay. This is your Series A funding.
Yes.
From what I've studied or the previous interactions that we've had, you all seem to be doing quite well. Your model, even though when you say 60% is the markup that you'll keep at bare minimum, it seems very, very astronomical. So my point being is, with all of this that you all are already with the model that is almost flawless, why why are you looking at funding? What is the intent of the fundraise?
Why are we looking at funding?
Uh-huh.
To do our business in large scale, we need fund. We cannot do it with the 3 to 4 investors fund. We need many investors fund. So it is needed.
Sharath, to add on some more points actually. See, you are asking about the objective of this fundraising activity.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So actually, the current business scenario is something like that. We need to be technologically more advanced since so that we could able to reach out to the customer, either the product or execution of a strategy, whatever it is.
Right.
Okay. So we want to have our technology infrastructure more robust so that we could able to support any number of customers or clients whoever comes in actually. Okay, and with the immediate phase. Okay, that's one thing. And apart from that, we want to have our own capital contribution to be supported for whatever the project we took actually. Okay.
Got it.
So for that purpose, we want to have our promoter contribution to be we want to have our skin also in the business game actually.
Got it.
It's not that whatever the fund we are raising from the public is not only the source of income, but we want to have others, other partners capital also be in the things actually. So to execute all these things, we are intent to raise this Series A actually, and it will be utilized mostly for increasing our technological infrastructure as well as for to have a capital contribution from the.
So what I understand here, Rajkumar, is basically your model is capital intensive by nature because you have to first source the property, pay the token advance, and all the little bit of prep work that goes in terms of evaluating whether this deal or this property does make sense or not. And it's not that just because you've identified one, then you'll go about putting. Before going to phase 2 and 3, you will have to put in some kind of capital to explore 10 or 9 or whatever it is the property before it comes down to the funnel. And because of that, you all need this kind of money, which can easily be funded, which at this point in time, because you all take money only in the phase 3 when when a particular opportunity goes to the phase 3 of your model that you all have decided. So all the expenses that you all are having from a scalability aspect is where you are looking at raising the money.
Yes, right.
Okay, fair. And you all intend to close this. What happens in case you all are not able to close this? I mean, how does it impact your investors who've already invested? You all have 1,000+ investors. You all have done X amount of deals so far. How does that impact if the deal doesn't go through?
Okay, closure in the sense, what do you mean? Means we have acquired and we are not able to dispose in such a kind of situation, or
no. I'm talking about the fundraise. I'm talking about the fundraise that you all are planning to do of 150 CR. What happens in case you all don't get that funding?
See, actually, we have some 2-3 source of it actually. Okay. We already done all the things closure, and it is almost 95% completed.
Right.
Okay, so as far as hopefully this will get complete. Suppose if there is any hurdles comes and which is not happening also, I have some other plan B as well. But the thing is that it will take another 3 to 4 months.
Got it. But do your existing investors on the platform, your people who have lent, investors as in all the retail investors who are coming on board and doing fractional investing of 1 lakh and in the multiples of that, how will they get affected? Is there any way that they in case? Because the reason I'm asking this, Raj, in other words, what happens if tomorrow GHL India doesn't ceases to exist? Do you all need this fundraise for running your operations of everything that you all have already raised money for?
No, I don't understand how this existing investor will get affect with our current fundraising activity.
Okay.
Because both our existing activity also will goes on as such hands on hands together with our new proposals in the same manner.
Right.
I don't think nothing will get affect with respect to the existing investor.
So I'll tell you where this question is coming from, Praj. Now, because you all have mentioned that you all are in the on the verge of raising money. Typically, who looks at raising money? Generally, the first thought that comes to people is you all are a startup. You all are very recent and you all need fundraise. Now, if you're raising money, typically the idea is because you raise money for either your operations, marketing, expansion, reach. Here, because of how your model operates, you all don't need bulk of this money for operations purposes. You all need it mainly for capturing new projects. All
Yes.
your existing customers are anyways going to be taken care of because of the debenture trustee agreement and
Yeah.
everything that is put in place.
Yes.
I just asked it from, like I said,
As well
my
as-
investors. Please go ahead.
Plus, the existing property which we are flipping, that's also generating my profit actually, which supports
Correct.
my payout. Okay,
Excellent.
so as such, my existing property is also generating income, as well as the new property whichever comes also, that also is will be creating another income during the time they admits actually.
Fair enough. Excellent. Let's proceed, Karthik. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. So why GHL India prefers to issue secured NCD to raise funds? We prefer to issue secured NCD to prevent ownership dilution of the company. That is the first reason. And then also to protect the capital of the investor. There are different ways to raise funds. We can issue equity shares in the market. We can raise. Why we are issuing secured NCD? This is a reason. Okay. And what are the returns
What that
that
simply
we offer?
means is, simply means is if you've raised money externally, again, like what you are doing in terms of a Series A round, your ownership will get a little diluted because of your having to give equity ownership into all the investors who are coming from the equity route. But for all your investors who are coming to the debt route, whatever ownership or whatever amounts of money that first is first with the is the first right for the retail investors who've lent you through the NCD route.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Let's progress.
Now let's talk about the returns and securities that GHL India offers to its investors. First thing is we are giving pre-tax 24% per annum returns for this secure debenture plan. It amounts to 2% returns. We are providing these returns on monthly basis. Fine.
Okay.
And the
So
securities.
before you go to the next one, Karthik, see, generally when we have, obviously I've looked at quite a few companies and a few of them I have already been shared with my existing customers, right? I'd like to know, when you say 24%, is this absolute 24% or are we talking in IRR? Or what I'm saying is,
it is
because if
absolute. It is, yes, it is absolute return. Okay.
So what you're saying is, if I put 10 lakh rupees, 2% of 10 lakhs, which is what you're saying over here, 2% return on a monthly basis. 20,000 rupees.
20,000, out of which TDS will be deducted. TDS will be 10%. So 2,000 will be deducted. The leftover 18,000 will be transferred every month. Yes.
Every single month. And now at the moment, you all are a 2-year. This is a 2-year structure that you all have got for an ongoing offer that you all have.
Yes.
What happens if a customer for some reason wants to pull out this money before that?
For emergency cases, we are allowing them to withdraw the money. Withdraw means
we should not say that. You should anyway. Okay, so
there is but I will put it in some other way. Actually, see, this is as a business purpose. I cannot consider returning within 2 years, and moreover, this is a very short period. Actually, I am not asking any long-term investment. Okay, so this is not anything a bank FD or a saving bank account where we can deposit and withdraw at our convenience. So I'm not asking it for business. I'm putting it, buying a goods actually, and I have to sell. There is a working capital cycle. To that extent, I need to hold the fund actually. Okay.
Right.
But what we did to 1 or 2 clients is that they have some emergency situation. Some of their means family person has admitted in hospital and they required that money urgently. That time what we did is that we transferred that debentures to some other existing investor who are intent to buy it actually, but with the discount. It is not at the same price.
Fair enough. Now again, Raj, the intent is, at least you all would have known this by now, I will only tell people to put 1/10 of the money that they can afford to put in this after considering all the risk, right? The intent they will never. So there's a very clear cut. After this, there will be an email that will go out to people saying, only put this much amount of money before we actually even sign this. So there will never be a thing, but you never know, right? If a COVID again strikes or whatever it is for that matter, because Karthik, you mentioned you're coming from the hotel background. And there was a point in time I had almost about 1/3 of my audience coming from the hotel background, right? And COVID time, that was the worst thing that could happen for them, because not only they were not getting money, but future also was looking very bleak. So I'm just saying, for situations that are absolutely out of control, is there a mechanism? You could have easily said no, and that is okay. You didn't have to. But anyways, please. Let's understand what the charge creation on.
If suppose a kind of COVID situation comes also, we had a solid asset backup. That is the only advantage what we have. Even if when the COVID completes, then we had some asset to be in hand, which we could able to repay the client, repay the customer, investors.
Good to know. Good to know. All right, let's understand what charge creation and bank guarantee is.
Charge creation part, Mr. Rajkumar sir will explain. So please continue.
Yeah, with respect to charge creation, I will explain. Charge creation is nothing but how we execute a mortgage deed with sub-registrar office.
Okay.
With the property office, similar kind means whatever the agreement we are executing, we need to register at some common place in agreement in a governmental place actually. Okay. Sometime if we are purchasing a property, then we will go to sub-registrar office, we will register. Likewise, there is a mechanism in Ministry of Corporate Affairs website where you can register your mortgage, hypothecation, or whatever kind of encumbrances on the property.
Right.
Okay, so the mortgage deed will be executed with the debenture trustee, and that mortgage deed will get registered with MCA.
Okay.
Even for registering with the MCA, we need to file a form called CHG9, which is for that form is particularly for creation of an encumbrance for debenture holders.
Okay.
Okay, so we will file that form. Even that form, we need to provide all the information with respect to how much amount we raised and who is the debenture trustee and what kind of security, what is the property, its valuation, everything we need to mention over the form.
Understood.
Once the form is filed, actually, the person who is sitting in Delhi, they will scrutinize all the documents and they will ask some sort of questions, which we will give for, which they will come for 2-3 rounds of questions. Then post that, they will approve the form. So once it is approved, it will be displayed on the MCA website.
So in simple terms, for retail investors who don't want to get in the technicalities of it, what you're saying is having this created gives a lot of transparency, which means all of this can actually be vetted and seen that this is actually there and it's not some random commitments or statements that you are mentioning on a call.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough. All right. Let's get to the bank.
Let me cover the bank guarantee part now. So it's a tripartite arrangement executed between GHL India, bank and investor. In case of the default of monthly returns by GHL India, the investor can claim the defaulted amount directly from the bank with the help of the exclusive bank guarantee number that has been assigned to. Okay. So this is a illustration video. Let me conclude this presentation with our future business plan. What are we going to do in future? Listen, the current market size of the distressed properties of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry put together is 15,000 crore.
Okay.
Okay. Out of which we are planning to tap 15%. It amounts to 2,250 crore within the next 3 to 5 years. This is one of our major business plans. And second one is we are also planning to penetrate the agroforestry market, biotechnology market, and FMCG market in the upcoming months.
Interesting. We'll not talk about the agroforest right now, but I'm more keen on this 15,000 crore. Now, I know the answer here, Karthik, but again, because see, most of my investors have looked at equity markets because they've been told 12 to 15%, right? Today, they're sitting at much different numbers, and that we will talk on another date and time. Fixed income also, we've been accustomed to 8%, 10%, 12%. Right? There was a different platform that I bought to my investors, which was in the movie discounting business, which discounting of what is this called? Discounting of receipts of OTT rights. So it was not movie financing; it's a different platform. They were offering 15 and 17%. Now that looked crazy. My point is, when you're looking at 20%, right? If you're giving a margin, if you're giving your investors returns of 24%. I mean, why would someone fall with so much of why would someone undergo so much of distress? Because when you're talking 15,000 crores only in 2 simple states, it is not something that it is not something that sorry. My question being under what circumstances do these properties go undergo the distress status?
Financial things, mortgage issues.
Okay.
They want emergency funds. For that, they pledge mortgage. They pledge their property. But when days passes, they cannot pay the EMI.
Okay.
The lender has to sell the property that is
Mhm.
mortgaged
Mhm.
to reclaim his money. So this happens in a very large scale in not only in Tamil Nadu.
Sharath, I will add some more point actually.
Right.
Properties are mostly, they are pledged by some companies,
Got it.
either for their term loan purpose or working capital cycle.
Okay. Fair enough.
Some point of time, they could not able to pay the interest or principal amount in time or back. It goes into NP and it will come for auction.
Okay.
So there are such properties are available in the banks for auctioning, and we
Mhm.
will select in 10 out of 1 like kind of a thing. Actually, it is not that we are picking up every property.
Understood.
We are choosing and picking the property. Mostly it comes to kind of a financial distress situation, why? Because it is being mortgaged by the company for their business purpose and they are not able to repay the loan. It went into NP.
So what you're telling is, unlike how retail investors do it at, let's say, 3 or 4 lakhs, they're not planning their EMIs and things of that sort. They either lost their job or whatever it is. This is happening at a much larger scale. The
Yes.
lands, so again, when you're talking about property, is this only lands, or are you talking about an established building, warehouse?
Sharath,
Could it
it's
be
only land, Sharath. Actually, we are not going
lands?
for building because land is only the appreciating asset. If you consider building, it will depreciate in another 2 to 3 years.
So when you're talking about land, these large parcels of land,
Yes.
the advantage comes in that you're not limiting your buyer to a already pre-constructed structure. They can take it as, I mean, depending, now you're widening your audience in terms of, if they have this parcel of land, then they can decide what they want to do with the land. And then
Yes.
that's why it gives you a larger room in terms of exiting.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. You all mentioned about, see, now that you all have told us the number that you make 60%, roughly that is your margin, whether it's post-taxes, pre-taxes. Obviously, the taxes and everything will come later in this case. So 60% is the number that you all keep. You all are giving investors around 24%. Now, I'm very keen, or rather the audience is very keen. How are you all guaranteeing 24%? I mean, how does the 60% happen? See, I'm not wanting to get into the specifics of your business, but help us run through the numbers so that it looks acceptable. Now, yes, there is a bank guarantee. Yes, there is a charge created. Yes, there is collateral. It's secured. All of this is on paper written. But after all of this, it's like, I'll give you an example of my audience, right? Typically, when they come to me for the very first time, I say to them, don't invest in insurance plans. Insurance plans are meant to give you protection. Any insurance plan that you take, insurance and investment together, it's where you're losing money via commissions and everything. Therefore, it makes sense that you put in investment-oriented products as compared to risk protection products. So with all of this, you have so many people buying so many education plan, child plan, marriage plan, and then some garbage plans. Right? The point is, even with all of these securities being there, I'd like to know, I mean, the
You're
point is
achieving
that
60%.
Precisely, yes.
I will explain you, Sharath. Actually, see, we are buying this property at a discounted price only. It is not at par with the market price, so I no need to wait for any appreciation. This is the first thing I want to put here. Okay.
Got it.
Thing is that I will explain you with the example. Suppose a property value is 1 crore. You consider. Okay. The company is going to pledge the property and they are going to raise some term loan. So the bank will offer you around 80 lakhs.
Fair enough.
80% of the property. So he is keep on repaying the loan for another 2 to 3 years. Consider that he has completed another 50 crores. So balance 30 crores, 30 lakhs is only he has to repay now.
Right.
That time he has some financial situation distress is there, then he is not able to repay. It went into NP. It is coming for an action. You consider. Okay.
Understood.
So the bank will put it for action only for 30 lakhs, not for 80 lakhs or the market value of the property.
Understood.
Bank will recover only the amount which they want in hand. That's all.
Got it.
Okay, so I am getting the property in for 30 lakhs or 40 lakhs, but the original market price of the property is around 1 crore.
Fair enough.
Okay, I am going to locate a seller and I am going to sell it actually, but even I am not going to sell it at a market price. I am going to sell lesser than the market price only, so that I will able to liquidate it at the earliest possible.
Understood.
Okay, here I will make around 30 to 40 percentage of 30 to 40 percentage profit I will achieve over this one property. Okay, for liquidating a property, I require a time of 6 to 8 months. So in a year, I will make means 1 to 1.5 times of the property which I have raised the fund for the purpose.
Understood.
So getting 30 plus 30% in the property is not a problem for me at all, because I am buying it at 40 lakhs only. So I am selling it at another 60 lakhs, in the sense 40% I have gained actually. So likewise, if I make 2 transactions in a year, then my profit is easily achieved actually.
So with everything that you are currently doing, the reason you're bringing this as an alternative to investors in terms of, what is this thing called? In terms of being in a position to offer 24% for retail investors, you all are doing this from a platform standpoint, because you all were doing this before as well, right? What initiated this democratization, wherein you're initiating this through a platform, collecting, because see, especially in real estate, when you're having so many people showing up in an agreement and all of that, it's a logistical nightmare, right? You don't need to be through this. So what is the intent? I mean, obviously, I know y'all are having other verticals of businesses, which is just recently y'all are, still putting, there's still work being planned. But what initiated this democratization of the asset reconstruction business?
Yes. See, actually, we used to call it as synergy actually. Okay. There are 2 capacities. 2 person is having 2 capacity, but if they both join together, then only it could be able to achieve. We are having the experience of picking a right property to be disposed in the market. Okay.
Right.
As such, it required capital as well. Okay, so the investor also need to be joined hands together with us, so that our knowledge can be capitalized, which could be utilized as a monetary term for me as well as to the investor.
Fair, and that is logical. My question is, you can borrow money from the bank at, let's say, 19 or 18%. Why give 24% to your investors?
Obviously, actually, see, the bank term is that I think you might be knowing.
They give loans very easily. They don't.
It's not very easy. We need to submit a 3-year financial and etc. because they want to be in the business for another 3 years. Then only I could able to do. I am not able to materialize my dream at the present.
Fair enough.
So,
in other words, what you're saying is, bankers will offer loans to you when you don't need it. When you need it, they will take their own sweet time. In this own sweet time, we might end up not having the opportunity with us. So might as well give your investors a little bit of extra bit of money. So at least you have liquidity available, and the opportunity is there as against that being hung in the balance.
Yes.
Excellent. Now, with all of this asked so far, I will, turn the stage to the audience. Folks, from everything that we just discussed so far, and we got an understanding of a completely new asset class today, is there any questions? And if you'll do, please use the hand raising emoji on Zoom. And I think I have got questions in the chat as well. We'll address them, but it will be nice if you could ask the question. And if you're asking a question, please share your video. This is a new rule that is started from last 2 meetings. So let's abide by that. Any questions? Either this was very clear or it was completely unclear. By now, we would have so many people asking questions.
So, Sharath, I do have a question, but I'm outside, so I don't know. Let me try. Just give me a minute.
I can verify, you're by your next door neighbor.
Yes, please do.
Go ahead, ask the question.
Okay. So the example that he gave, for me, it seems very unbelievable in terms of a distress sale even, right? You said that the property value was 1 crore and he took a loan or mortgage that for 80 lakhs. And he had repaid 50 lakhs and the balance amount is just 30 lakhs.
Right.
So are we saying that the distress sale is so much that, he let go of the property for just 30 lakhs as against the market price of 1 crore? That means a 70 lakh straight loss just because he mortgaged the property to the bank. So that seems really unbelievable, because rather I would want somebody from my family or someone just give me a loan of 30 lakhs and just repay that and take back the property.
Okay. So I have the answer for you, Ram, but I'll let Raj answer this, and then I'll give you my part of the explanation.
Okay. I think this may be the first instant you may be coming across, but we are facing this for several years. For past 20 years, I am seeing these issues. Why? Because since we are from finance background, I am looking up such so many incidents which has come across. Because as you said, arranging 30 lakhs from known people or friends, somebody else, may not be an easy task because so much of properties are lied in bank like that.
Raj, the first thing is, he's talking about 30 lakhs. You're not talking about 30 lakhs. You're probably talking about 300 or 3,000 lakhs.
Yeah.
So, Ram, you're talking about a couple of properties. Let's leave that equation aside. Forget whether this return is coming or not coming in, right? My point is, let's look at Better Invest as an example, right? When we started this, what was our observation about movie finance? That we are going to be lending money to the producers, or we are going to be investing in the movie, correct? Only after clear understanding from the management, from the founders, what did we understand? That we are buying rights of the movie. Do you think that Better Invest is only making 1 or 2% gain? Obviously not. They started at 18%. Today they are at 15% or 16%, 16.5%. Everybody in the fixed income space will eventually come in the 15 to 18% mark. They will not go higher than that, because there is a cost to acquire capital. There's a cost. Today, they're not as large a team as they would want to in terms of, expanding for what purpose they're actually raising money. So that's the backdrop. And again, Ram, the point is, if this seems too astronomical, which was the case for me as well, and truth be told, I got to know about GHL India not today. I got to know about them almost a year before. Now, the approach that I used in terms of finalizing things, one or the other thing kept coming in, and then we started doing a commercial engagement only about a month and a half back. So that's the backdrop. Now, at any point in time, the advantage that I bring onto the table is what? All these new products that we are not sure of, that we're not comfortable with, or we've not heard about, right? Irrespective of all the good things, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be averaging a simple 1 lakh investment as the bare minimum. Explore this alternative. They are anyways looking at building 2 separate projects every single year. So let's assume every block of 6 months, they will come up with 1 new project. You invest 1 lakh per project, see the comfort, see the payouts, it's just like what we've done for all the other projects.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So I was pretty much trying to understand. I mean, I was not to challenge it.
No, it's a good thing that you're bringing it. Ram, that is not, I just added a little humor here, because generally by this time we've seen, right? We have a plethora of people putting hands up. Right now, there are only about 5 questions on the chat, and I'm worried whether did we do a good job, or was everything going overhead transmission? So hopefully we'll get to know this now. Raju, you have thanks. Ram. Raju, you have a question. Yes, please go ahead.
I'm outside, maybe some background noise. Apologies for that. I think, first of all, thanks, Raj and Karthikeyan. You guys really, all the questions been answered very well. Maybe that may be the reason, my assumption, the lesser questions on the chart. I think you crystal clear on every question. You put answers very well. Only one logic I didn't understand is, I know there was an earlier question that how one can sell that 70% loss after paying so much and not being paid for the last 30%. So there are situations one cannot explain. Each situation is very unique. There's no debate on that. My question is, you mentioned that you take 2 such projects in a year, and each project where you can make, though the asset value may be something, you are getting maybe at 30% or 40%. The remaining 60%, then you also really sell it because to amortize in a discounted rate. If that profit of given one project, if it is, you mentioned that after all the charges, everything, 30%. Also, you mentioned that if you do 2 projects in a year, it's not 30 plus 30. It's going to be on the investment is only 30 in my view. And you're offering 24%, because the way you stated, maybe a lot of maybe other colleagues on this call, how you can make 30 plus 30. That's not a 60% profit. It's each case of the project is only 30%. Can you clarify on that?
Raj, I think this is an apt question for you to take. So where Raju is coming from is, so by the way, why Raju is comfortable and understands this, because you see the name here, he's from Hyderabad, right? And Hyderabad, there is only one kind of asset that most folks in Hyderabad know, which is real estate. And Raju in this case is, can I give some background to you, Raju? Is that okay? I mean, are you okay if I'm not going to be, thank you very much. So he's been with Goldman Sachs. Now, Goldman Sachs does only one job. They talk money, right? And they talk money in a very, very creative forms. And Raju, because of the position that he is in, he's got himself explored in real estate to very, very different opportunities. Some worked, some have stuck. And because he knows how it is stuck, that's why for him, it is he's able to understand that, hey, sometimes properties can go at a distress of 70, 50, 70%, and sometimes even more depending on what is on the line. So
Yes.
that's his background. That's why he's so comfortable with. But his question is, I think some of us on the call have gotten confused or are in doubt whether we are making 30 plus 30, or do you all make 60% on each project and eventually it tapers down with whatever things that you all are doing. So if
It is
if
30
you could,
plus 30, sir.
so you're doing 30% per project, and then the other 30 is coming through another project. So that's how you're looking at 60% on overall on the overall capital that is captured.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This again is a number that you all are comfortable sharing.
Yes.
We'll
Yes.
also make numbers higher than that, which you all don't want to do for more reasons. And
Which all these numbers is some average of the transaction what we are doing. It is not exactly the same for every transaction. It may be on a higher side.
so just to build on to what Raju is saying, right? Because see, Raju, Goldman Sachs, and now he's with Google, right? They don't talk small. So why only 2? What is stopping you all from taking 4, 5, 10, or 20 projects?
It's not like, see, once the asset is acquired, actually we need to make some basic alteration. Means it would be in a very we took a asset recently. It was totally plants, bushes, everything was there actually. Okay, so we made it clean. The road was laid, electricity line was done, fencing has done actually. Suppose that only we handed it over to a marketing agency.
Got it.
Okay, so at least this will take, road was laid actually. Internal roads were laid actually. So all these things will take around 3 to 4 months time.
Got it. So your energies
development will then only it will be disposed.
So where you're getting at with is, might as well get done with one project within your timelines, optimize your energies instead of leaving people on the bench by hiring extra talent or whatever it is, and then having to let go of those leakages. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, and moreover for acquisition and for locating the buyer, we require some time.
Understood. Understood. So let me ask you another question, very, very pertinent to my audience, right? Now you said there is anywhere between 6 months to 9 months time to get rid of the property. I am assuming that whenever you are raising an opportunity on your platform, saying that you are raising money for, let's say, property A, B, C, D, whatever it is, right? Now, currently, let's say you are doing property A. You all will have this listed on your platform for, let's say, 2 or 3 months, depending on how soon do I, as an investor, get my return starting from day 1 that I put my money in, or will I have to wait till the entire property is closed, the deal is closed?
From the day 1, sir.
So basically, if I put my money in August, or let's say 31st of July, by your payment cycle in the month of August, I get whatever is my pro rata number, and from then it continues with whatever it is.
Yes,
Okay.
since this is a debentures.
Excellent. Good to know.
There is a debt.
Thank you. Sandeep, you have raised your hand. You can unmute your line and ask.
So just one thing, when we are saying 3 to 4 months for altering the property and all those things, right? So just want to understand, what were your previous projects and what is the minimum land size that you guys actually take? Because you're already, and is it always within the, city limits or outside? I mean, what actually makes?
Mostly it is outside city limit only, sir. Why? Because we acquire property in acres actually. Okay, so see, if you see most of the city property, they are saturated with respect to the price.
Okay.
Okay, and moreover, within city, we will get only a small chunk of land. Okay, our previous assignment, if you look at, I will give 1 or 2 examples. One asset we acquired almost 50 kilometers away from the city, which was given to a logistic company. They were using it for their warehouse purpose.
Okay.
Okay, so we acquired and then we identify a buyer actually. So that buyer for which we done all this basic leveling work and all actually. So post that we sell it to that person.
Okay.
Okay, it's just to show the property in a pleasant manner. That's all.
Okay, so the alterations what you do is again not common to each property because it's all again the buyer.
It is common actually. See, for leveling or fencing or some kind of things are common actually. So what are the
if it is an agri land and if they want to use as agri land as is, then you don't have to do anything.
Not agricultural land.
Okay, you're not taking agricultural land.
No, we are not taking agricultural land. See, actually, the bank mortgage property, the bank will not give loan for agricultural property at all. Whatever we are acquiring mostly from banks. bank auction property.
Sandeep, let me add to, so I know where you're coming in, because see how the budget size that we are having in mind, when we talk outskirts, it's generally farmlands or agricultural lands, right? Now, let's understand something. Whether it is at your level and my level, or it is at multi-hundred crore level, right? Banks will never lend to agricultural land.
Yes.
Only lend to land that is converted for either commercial purposes or for residential purpose, or whatever that story is. That is the first criteria. So you're not bringing agriculture. So all the hassles that come with buying agricultural land, that doesn't happen. Point number one. Point number two, whatever, I mean, some lands will be fair. Like if, I mean, what I've not, you will get to know eventually is I'm looking at investing in a couple of managed farm properties. Okay. Why am I doing that? Is because I will get to that in, but depending on the landscape of that large parcel of land, we are talking about not 1 acre, not 2 acres, let's say 30 acres, 40 acres, 100 acres. You will not get a level land. In some places, there will be boulders.
No,
in some
that
places,
is understood. That is understood.
Correct. So keeping that in mind, giving you an average is why they have said it will take anywhere between 3 to 4 months. Some of them could probably done within 1 year's time. So there is no concept of agriculture where, you know, it is already tilled and everything, and then you have to just come and, you know, plug and play. It is first, the concept of agricultural land doesn't even get there.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. All right. You can bring down your hand. Thank you, Sandeep. You can unmute your line and go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll two parts. So one, I'll just summarize what I've understood so far.
Right.
So looks like GHL, so they're investing in distressed properties. And what I understood earlier when gentleman was speaking was, so if there is a property for 1 crore, let's say they have a borrowing of 1 crore, and let's say the borrower has returned 70 lakhs, and there's an outstanding of 30. Now it's gone into financial distress. So that's where GHL comes in, will take it from the bank because the bank is looking to auction and maybe do some development. And then let's say if the market value is 1.2 or 1.5 crores, they will probably sell it at 1 or 1.1. So is my understanding correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So, and the second thing is,
just to add to that, Vinayak, here's the thing. They are not in the property buying business. They are in the property flipping business. So to make things very simple, what do we understand by property flipping? You buy something at X, you sell it X plus 10, X plus 20, X plus 30, depending on expertise. What their expertise comes in terms of finding legally clear titles of distressed assets. They don't buy assets of things that are okay, ready, and people are. I mean, like for example, a lot of my customers are like, Sharath, I will go about buying pre-launch properties. That is one technique. But the more you look at it, you see that this is exactly what was happening in China. Everybody is trying to buy, a pre-launch, and then now you have ghost towns over there, right? This is one strategy which is realistic. The other strategy could be, I will buy distant farmlands, wait after some period of time, hoping that the zone conversion will happen, and then I make parcels of land and distribute. Different strategies. In this case, distressed asset is one style of or one strategy in the property investing business. I just thought it was important that we mention that. But please go ahead with your question.
Correct. So yeah, so now, and I think when you're responding to the earlier question, you said there is some development that you do in terms of fencing, etc. To make it ready for the sale. So I wasn't clear about what that development aspect of why it is needed. And then second is, when you're looking to raise capital, let's say from investors like us, so is this a fractional investment which will go into the SPV, where in return for the investment we get these NCDs, and then obviously whatever you explained earlier in terms of if it gets into a problem, etc., because debentures are typically where the debenture holder gets the money first over the equity holders. So.
That's correct. So I will answer the second part of the question, Vinayak, and I'll let Raj answer in terms of why do the development. But I'll give it to you. I generally like to simplify things. So let's say I've got a property. I've got a 3 BHK that I've put on sale. Now, obviously, I've been staying here for 5 years and everything. There's patches and things of that. So there's no furniture. I've moved out. It's a vacant property right now. I've moved out. There's no furniture. Whatever is there is a little bit of patchwork. Painting is not here. There are some cracks here and there. Doors need to be redone. Between the choice, even though it is my own property and I know for a fact the market value is there, between having a house at the current state and between giving it in a cleaner state, which one do you think will attract my audience better?
Same.
That's one. Okay, so I put things in a very simple manner instead of getting to the technical aspect. This is one. The other question, what you mentioned was, sorry, I lost it. Vinayak, what is the second part of your question? I'm sorry.
No, so before I get to the second part of the question, so because the reason I asked about the first part is because obviously, depending on property to property, there is going to be cost that is going to come onto the, right? So the return will, I mean, because they talked about a 24% return and or appreciation or whatever, whichever way you look at it. So obviously, how do you sort of factor that in? Because it will vary again based on exactly to your point, the condition of the property. And the second part of the question was, is this fractional investment? Are you looking to raise it fractionally?
It is fractional only. So anybody today who's in the, I mean, it's just not them. I mean, they're not doing anything different. Whoever has got a good understanding of technology and know how to build a ecosystem around this, Vinay, is getting into it. Today, there are how many NBFCs who are getting registered only through doing democratization, making it smaller chunks so that it's available for retail investors. This property distress buying is not something that is something new, right? It is always there. Invoice discounting is not something that is new. It was always there. But who were doing it? We're only talking about deals being done at 10 crores, 20 crores, 100 crores, and so on and so forth. People like you and me were never able to do it. Just like what mutual fund is doing it in terms of making it easy for you to buy with all the kind of benefits. And now that it's regulated, that's an add-on benefit. But every platform out there is going to be doing exactly what we're doing in terms of democratization. Typical numbers are between 50,000 bare minimum and 1 lakh rupees bare minimum. This is the number which is across all platforms. But I'll let Raj answer the thing in terms of why do the development and things of that sort, and to what extent that does that eat into their margin. Because as investors, quite frankly, I know why you're asking this, because you need to understand what kind of numbers can be the outflow. But as far as investors are concerned, irrespective of the cost that they are going to incur, we will be paid the 2% per month ongoing, because it's already there. You have got into an agreement with them. Anyways, so Raj, could you take that thing? Why are you looking at putting that number, taking that extra burden of having to, beautify or, do any kind of changes to the land for such a large parcel, which is going to be eating into the numbers?
Yes, sir. I will explain, sir. Actually, it is the same as you explained. Means as such, showing a house in a dirty manner to show the house in a actually beautiful manner. The same kind, actually. See, when it is get into mortgage for a bank, the land is kept idle for so many years. Actually, there will be so many debris, dumps, plants, trees, everything will be there. So as such, if I am showing it to an investor, he will bargain me with the price. Okay, if the land is clean and with a good road facility and fencing, everything is there, then my price will play in the house.
Okay. So you've asked the question. The question may be addressed. Before I forget, I wanted to know the risk involved in the property acquired could not be sold due to more litigations and how. Okay. First of all, KK, from what we've already discussed and what we've gotten to know right now, these litigations are because of the fact it's not necessarily just legal, right? It's financial distress. It's things for whatever purpose that they have not been able to pay. That's when you are not able to pay your EMIs to the bank. Right, so these are distress because of that. And when you do make your exit, the way how they plan their exit, the litigations are not going to be coming in between this. I hope I have answered your question, KK.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, cool. Also, will the MCA reflect in encumbrance certificate of this property? I didn't quite understand that, KK. Would you want to unmute your line and clarify that for us?
The question is that, if there is a litigation or if there's a financial borrowing on this property and now it gets transferred to CGH and it is going to get converted into NCD. So will this NCD also feature in the encumbrance certificate if somebody is evaluating this property?
Good question. Raj, do you want to answer that for us, please?
That's I will answer for it. Actually, as such, you will not see the encumbrance, but you will see that so many amount has been, means I have raised for 6 crores considered for a property. Okay, so if you go to MCA website under charge section, you can see that for against contract trust, I have mortgaged 6 crores against that. Actually, that thing you can see to it.
Okay. The reason is normally if I'm a third party interested in the same property which is under this transaction with you, how would I know that this property is actually in a transaction with another company like CGH, and there is a liability on this property to that effect?
Sir, before sale of the property, all this easy and charge creation, everything will be looked after by the advocates or whoever willing to buy it.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
You don't seem very convinced, KK. Do you want to? I mean, because it's a good question. It's a benefit for all the entire part. You want to highlight? You want to extend on the question?
No, I was just thinking that if I'm another third party, and if I am having an interest in that distressed property, would I have a knowledge through any government certification body that this land has been into another mortgage deal through an NCD in the EC or any other government portal is what I want to understand, because then we would know that that this property has an exposure. How would I know about it? That's what I wanted to ask.
Sir, can I add some points?
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah, see, whenever you are buying a property, you will go to the sub-registrar office and you will look for the EC certificate.
That's right.
Okay, similar kind, you can go to MCA website, you pay the fee, you can download the document, wherein there will be a mortgage agreement which you can download. Through that, you could able to know that this property is already mortgaged against the investors.
Understood, Sunil. But assuming that as a buyer, I know that we should be doing this evaluation, but if they are going only through an EC route, they would not know unless they go to the MC register, you are saying, right?
Sir, if a company, if it is being sold by a company, they have to get both EC as well as MCA charge creation letter also.
Okay, understood. Because I was talking I was only talking from a personal standpoint, because you usually not do an EC, but not from a company.
Yes.
Okay.
But it need to be checked with the MCA website as well, both.
Okay.
KK, you know my love and interest towards real estate and how many investments I've done. So I'd like to understand this a little better. I'll give you a call and probably understand this a little. I mean, I'd like to get to the depth of it.
Okay.
Excellent. Lovely. So that was KK, your question. What is the profit net gross? Okay, that is hardly a thing. Raj, yes. What is the role of an SPV? So Raj, we have, Vinayak who's asked, what's the role of an SPV? And it's created for each case or each investment, which means is it created for each property? So, while some of us know, for the benefit of doubt, let's do this. Explain this in, simple terms. Why are we going through the SPV route? Why we're not doing this in GHL India's name and so on and so forth?
Actually, SPV is specifically meant for certain purpose. So for each set of investors, we are creating an SPV actually. It is only meant for their purpose only. So others' investment will not get to be mixed up with it actually. So if I am getting from 10 investors, so an SPV is created, the property is acquired, and for them only it is interest is being paid and their things are written. Likewise, it will go. So creating a set of investors in a single company is a easy task for. So the SPV is created.
So let me build on that. Each of these SPVs are LLPs, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Private limited, sir.
No.
Huh? Private limited. Oh, yes. Okay, great.
Private limited can only issue debentures.
Yes, correct. I'm sorry, I forgot. All right. So Vinayak, if you're still on this call, the reason for doing this is because instead of having all of this money raised in the name of the company, which is GHL India, you're creating a separate SPV, which allows us to, the purpose of this is only for the purpose of raising money for a particular project. All your finances, all your taxes, all your numbers get attached to one particular thing as against that coming in the name of the company. Also, when you're raising money from the public, you want to be in a position where you can, this much amount of investors are coming, that's about it. It's not like a mutual fund or a stock where we can go about buying anytime when the opportunity is there. This deal is open for any point in time, let's say a month and a half or two, just like everything else. You have a separate vertical that is created, separate name that is created, and then gets done and over with it. Was that, did that explain or did that add clarity to it, Vinay? Not quite sure.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Some of the questions, what differentiate are you offering vis-a-vis which is offered in the market? Some questions. What is the differentiations? Okay, Madhu, I will answer this to you as and when we do considering to invest in this money. We'll talk about that then. You have mentioned you plan to increase the and also planning to. This is. Can you please elaborate how much of the money has you raised so far towards working capital? Okay, basically Dipanjan's question, Raj and Karthikeyan, is the fact that how much of this money have you all already raised? What stage are you all? From what we discussed, you all are in the position of almost closing this. It's 90% through of raising a seed round of, sorry, series A round of 150 CR. Is that what we just discussed this earlier today?
Yes.
So you're 90% through. By when do you see this money coming? By when do you see this deal closing?
Sir, I cannot give the exact date now. Actually, there are certain procedures.
Not a date, but timeline around 3 months, 6 months, 10 months.
Let us keep it in a maximum 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months. So by then, all your investors, or at least people who are listed on your platform, will get to know that this has happened for obvious reasons.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I hope that answers the question, Dipanjan. You are planning for 15% market share. What is your current market? Okay,
current market share, I have to go it in a very fractional manner. Like fractional ownership, it will be in 0.111 like that. I cannot calculate it at all.
This is an interesting question. I mean, not that it matters when you are investing a portion of 1 lakh, 3 lakhs or whatever it is, but Vinayak it's interesting because they're asking who are your competitors in this space. At the level at what you all are operating, do you all have competitors in this space?
Sir, actually, I would say, see, there are so many real estate fractional investment owners are there, but their operational model and my model is different. They are acquiring property, they are putting it on lease actually.
Understood.
But I don't find any people so far who is flipping the property.
Okay.
But why? Because maybe flipping is a thing which actually need to locate the buyer. That's one task is there.
Okay. So
far, I have not seen any people.
Fair enough. So let's say, even though there are people in the business of, let's say, flipping or whatever it is, at your scale, you all are not aware of anybody else in that region, Puducherry and Chennai. Okay, great. Why not lease? Why go through the flipping route?
See, actually, lease thing is that I could see two things. One is that a land is always an appreciation property. We don't go with building actually. After 8 years, building is see, after 10 years, building totally I need to demolish only as such a commercial property. And moreover, with respect to lease, if it is a residential case, I could get only 4 to 5% in a year. If it is a commercial property, 9 to 10% in a year, which is not a appropriate income, which I feel actually.
Okay.
And what I would earn, what the investor would get, it will be very minimal. So flipping is a better option for us.
Fair enough. Okay, that explains it. Nirmal, do you look at agricultural land? I think we already answered that. What is your payout schedule monthly? Leslie, it is monthly. We are paying the payout, whatever you pay from the next payout cycle, pro rata basis, your payouts will come monthly. It's not quarterly like some of the other investments that we've already done. That answers. What are your other properties you have developed sold so far? What you could possibly do, I think this is an important question, again coming from Vinayak. I'm assuming this is not from Vinayak, but this is from Monica for sure. Why don't you all do this? If you're in a position that you all can share this with your investors, Karthikeyan and Rajkumar, please share with us some of these properties that you all have already flipped, what you all are planning to, and all of that, where for for business reasons, for secrecy, whatever it is, that's okay. But at least give us some of these deals that has happened, which can probably add to the confidence, and people can go online, do a little bit of research, and get a little more of added confidence and assurance. I hope that is okay.
Yeah, that's okay. But what kind of thing you expect? Means you want
just the name, nothing else.
Okay, means name in the sense to whom we sold.
Correct. To whom you all did these deals in the past, if you all are in a position to do that.
Okay. Not right now, we will share.
Fair enough, not a problem. I'll take that across. Other than that, do we have any other questions? How do you know if you find distressed properties is primarily, my question is to you aim to, okay, this is Bala's question. My question is to aim, you get 30% with less than market value price. There could be someone who is selling at 75% of the market value, also is profitable. In that case, the bank is willing to give them. Okay, so I'm assuming what Bala is asking is that if somebody else is willing to give the banker 75% as compared to 70%, then they will win the bid. They will win the bid from them. So how do you remain competitive, and why would you end up getting the deal from the bank, or why will you win the bid? Is what Bala is getting at.
Okay, if somebody else is quoting more than us, then they will get, right?
Correct. Or rather, in this case, you all are offering to give, or they are offering to give a higher value when compared to what you all are planning to offer.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll tell, sir. This is not that only property available in the bank. Actually, I told there are so many hundreds of property are available in the bank. It is not that we only owning the bit. Actually, sometimes we cost also.
Oh,
Whichever the property we pick and we own, that only we are doing it for. We are bringing it to our platform for listing.
fair enough. So what you're saying is, you look at 100 properties, almost 40 to 50 of them don't even get to that first stage.
Yes.
From the stage that they get to, some of them happen, some of them don't happen, some of them happen for reasons outside your control, some of them happen for competition or whatever it is for that matter.
Yes.
All right. So then we've got that answer. Anybody else have any other questions that you'd like to ask that has not been asked so far?
Sharath, this is Vinayak. Just one question I had was in terms of profit, it's gross or net? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand how does that help, Vinayak? What's the background to the question?
No, because obviously net means you've accounted for all your other expenses, including development expenses, right? So, and then that
30%.
raises confidence in terms of cash flow,
Vinayak,
etc. Yeah.
Vinayak, it's 30% profit. It's not revenue. Revenue comes after, I mean, revenue, whatever revenue comes, then you have expenses and that end result becomes profit. So in other words, yes, the entire money, whatever comes at is the number that is displayed in terms of 30% is a profit. That also is at minimum. Am I correct in saying that, Raj? Because this is what is being told to me. Your number of 30% profit is at a minimum number that you all have worked out basis all these different charges and your experiences of the past.
I think the other person also who told, actually, I forgot his name. Somebody from the real estate was
Leslie. Yeah, so people in that line of work, we have not gotten used to, because typically our instruments are what? Whatever is being hammered out and been mostly marketed, right? Today, mutual funds sahi hai, sahi hai. I've been telling the same thing that sirf mutual funds sahi nahi hai. So, but it will take time. See, for you all, it is coming very naturally because you all have been doing this for the years, right? For most of the audience, retail audience who've been investing in typically instruments with 15% itself is great. You know, anything beyond that is like, okay, there must be something wrong. But obviously, so that I will take with them as and when we are deploying the money. So I think we're good. We're at almost a little over 90 minutes for our discussion today. Folks, if there's any question that you'll have right now, now would be a good time, and then we'll call it a day.
Sharath, one last thing is like
No.
Okay, one second. This guy is on my shoulder. Okay, so just want to know, like till now, how many properties like have you guys actually traded? I mean, it's been two to 3 years, right? You being in the business. So in these 3 years, like how many properties you have actually?
So Sandeep, they have been raising money from the audience for the last 2.5 years.
Okay.
From the platform, property flipping has been done it is done outside the current avatar. But I'll let you answer that question based on that, Raj. How many?
We have done around. I'm not having exact number actually. I think we have done around 7 to 8 properties.
Sorry.
7 to 8 properties, Sandeep.
7 to 8. Okay. Okay.
Why? Because.
No, go ahead, please.
Yes, sir.
No, the reason why
what we are rising from an investor, actually, it will be flipped for 3 times at least. 3 to 4 times at least.
Okay.
Depending upon the property. Suppose if I am raising money for 6 crores from some set of investors from you, consider for another 2 years, then within the 2 years, 3 to 4 times it will be flipped.
Okay. And out of these 7 to 8 properties, what is the average time that you finding a buyer?
6 to 8 months, sir.
Finding the buyer.
Not for finding the buyer. See, for acquisition, for development, and finding buyer, all things put together, it will take 6 to 8 months.
Okay. And what is the average ticket of each property? I mean, average ticket of the properties?
Sir, that average size, I cannot tell anything exact like that. It depends upon the situations. See, something which we acquired for 4 acre also, something we acquired for 14 acre also, 14.75 acre also we acquired. It depends upon the size actually.
Okay, or minimum land parcel, 4 acre.
What we means we did with 4 acre. 4 acre, that was a Pondicherry land actually, 3.75 acres something.
Okay. Okay.
That was a lead size area we have dealt with.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think Karthik and Rajkumar, thank you so much for taking this time today. I'm glad that we've been able to get ourselves educated about a new asset class, and we've pretty much answered most of the questions. I'll get to know in another week's time. But I think it was good that we had this done, and we've had a pretty decent participation. We still have 25 folks still being a part of the call. I'm not quite sure why, but I think it's been good, and thanks for taking the time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sharath.
Have a nice one then. Or everybody else, enjoy your Saturday. I will talk to you all when we talk next. Next steps as usual, I will drop you all an email. To that, you all will reply in line, and then we will take things forward from there. All right? Ciao. Have a nice one. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Bye-bye.